can I use these women to make me money? I don't want to put them on the track because they're my women. I don't want other people touching my chains. And by coincidence, I'm just Googling things up and I discovered this webcam website. And I'd never heard of webcam before. This is a long time ago as well. It wasn't as big as it is now. Now everyone knows about OnlyFans, all this shit. Like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever this was. Yeah. It wasn't nearly as big. And I found this little webcam thing. And I was like,
oh, wait. I thought you had nothing to do with that. I thought you said you just got done telling Tucker you had nothing to do with that. Now you're looking sad as fuck. You over here bragging before jail. Now you're in jail. All of a sudden it's like they're trying to accuse me of stealing TikTok accounts. And I don't know why they charged me with trafficking.
Welcome back to Random U. It's go time.
Optimus, maximize!
I bring most of you here together today to discuss what's been going on with your boy Andrew Tate. I know many of you worship him as if he wrote the Holy Bible himself, created the Holy Grail, as if he is the Book of Eli, or if he created the Quran, or if he is Buddha himself. He is all religions worshipped and brought into one, and he's been propelled to be this god of the manosphere. Nonetheless, I know y'all wanted to discuss what's been going on with him, and needless to say, the prognosis isn't good. Now, I know this may be tough to hear, but Andrew's been dealing with the tough battle of self-snitching. The excessive need to continuously admit your crimes over and over and over again on multiple platforms, I just don't understand.
Yeah. I was in England. I got tired of England. I had to decide to move somewhere, and I'd fought in Romania a few times. And I decided to go to... In fact, I'll tell you this whole story. All right, let me tell you the whole story. Let me tell out in public.
Let's go down memory lane.
Let's go down. Let me give out all my world secrets because I'm on my biggest podcast yet, so I might as well tell all my secrets. Right?
There you go.
So this is a long story, right? So I had the webcam business. So a lot of people are very curious about how the webcam business works. So basically, I was sitting there after I retired from fighting, and I thought I need to get rich today. So I'm Googling up and I'm researching like what is money, how does the central bank, because I thought if I want money, the first thing I need to do is understand what money is.
Right.
Okay. Don't know what money is. Right? How does money work? How does a bank work? Where does money come from? So I started like just going down the rabbit hole. And the more I learned about money, the more mad I got because I realized it's trash and fiat ain't real and they just burn it from the sky. So I'm like, not only is it garbage, I don't have any. I don't have any garbage. What? So I was furious, right? So I'm watching this YouTube video and they're talking about assets, liabilities, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting there trying to find a way to get rich. And I decided to write down all my assets on a piece of paper. I had like a Range Rover. I had an apartment under mortgage. I had like 10 grand in the bank. That's it. So I'm writing down my assets. I knew I was big and strong, but I was already fighting. And then when I was writing down assets, I realized with my fight career, because I was traveling the world, all I do is, because I always win, I'm sexy. When you win, it's almost like a given, right? The ring girl's yours. When you win, you smash. Like they ain't fucking a loser. But if you win, so I had all these girlfriends. I had girlfriends in France, Slovakia, Germany, all these hot chicks, and they thought I was the big millionaire world champion, right? They thought I was living in London with a Ferrari, and I'm still texting them, and they thought I was living the big life.
Damn.
So I was like, well, I could open a strip club, but that takes money. You know, I need overhead, I need money. How can I use these women to make me money? I don't want to put them on the track because they're my women. I don't want other people touching my chains. And by coincidence, I'm just Googling things up and I discovered this webcam website. And I'd never heard of webcam before. This is a long time ago as well. It wasn't as big as it is now. Now everyone knows about OnlyFans, all this shit. Like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, whenever this was. Yeah. It wasn't nearly as big. And I found this little webcam thing and I was like,
oh wait, I thought you had nothing to do with that. I thought you said you just got done telling Tucker you had nothing to do with that. Now you're looking sad as fuck. You over here bragging before jail. Now you're in jail. All of a sudden it's like they're trying to accuse me of stealing TikTok accounts. And I don't know why they charged me with trafficking. This is the UK he's talking about. Let's continue.
This might be some money. So I text all my girlfriends, I think it was 5 of them, text all 5, said, you're all coming here to live with me and work with me. None of them knew about each other. Bro, Tristan will tell you the story. He'll tell you. All 5 flew in, picked them all up. They're all sitting there. I sat them around the same table. bro, I need to get paid. Right? I'm broke now. I'm retired from fighting. I have no money. I'm running out of money. So I put them all around the same table, and I was like, look, we're going to start a webcam business. You're going to stay here. You're going to live in London. I'm going to look after you, and we're going to get rich. We're going to be a team. And they're all like, well, who's this bitch? I'm like, she's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's my girl. You're all my chicks. And you're going to stay here, and we're going to make some money. Big fight kicks off, blah, 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 blah. In the end, long story short, 3 left, 2 stayed. Those are my first 2 girls. And we started this little webcam business from my apartment. And it just grew and grew and grew. And it got to the point where at one point I had 75 women working for me in 4 locations. And I was doing $600,000 a month from webcam. So
this is in the UK.
This is in the UK. Right? This is in the UK. So, but this leads into the story of why I moved to Romania. So at the height of my webcam pimping, I think I'm the king of the world, right? I have all these women.
At the height of my webcam pimping, yet for some reason he doesn't understand why the Romanian government is charging him for basically webcam pimping. He doesn't understand that though, right? Jesus Christ.
The problem is, my first 2 girls who worked for me because they loved me. I love this man. Right. I am with this man. We're a team. He's going to take me from the ghetto streets to the hotel suites. Right? So we're working together. But then once you get bigger, you start hiring girls who don't love you. They're in it for the money. So I had a whole bunch of girls working for me who weren't really about it. And then I had one girl, and she got too drunk one day, and she threw up in my apartment. I told her to clean up. She refused to clean up. Started being an idiot. So I took her stuff, threw out the window. Because it's like, it's about that. With women, you never hit a girl, right? Can't do that. But
we learned that the hard way last week.
You can't. But if all the other girls see me be disrespected, they're going to lose respect for me.
Facts.
Right?
Yep.
So when she's like, I ain't cleaning that up, you get that. So I was like, look, I don't care. And she was my biggest earning girl. She made me on her own maybe $25,000 a month.
Oh, shit.
So I didn't want to fire her. And she knew I didn't want to fire her.
I thought you were making money off of these girls.
Now, after going back and reviewing the tape, what we just acknowledged here is that he's just admitting to pimping, which is a crime. Most people associate pimping ain't easy with, funny things or good times or great rap music and stuff like that. But quite frankly, it's just confessing to crimes.
Jordan Peterson, who came out, he was not holding back. Let me pull this shit up. In response to Andrew Tate in the recent video, he says, pimps, electronic and otherwise, are the lowest form of life.
I'm not particularly, what would you say, impressed by what he's done on the sex business front. It seems to me a bit on the pimpy side, let's say.
I get called a pimp a lot, and the reason I use the term is because I don't see it as a negative term. I see it as positively inspirational and motivating person.
I think that's absolutely adorable that he came up with an acronym for pimp. I also have an acronym for pimp, and that's person intentionally manipulating people. I think that's another acronym that can go for pimp as well, because that's precisely what a pimp does. They manipulate women into doing services for them and then giving them all the loot for all the services that they provided and that they did nothing for but probably give them the pimp hand. I'm sure you know what I mean. Just a little bit of that baby powder action, a nice gator stomp, and a little nice side swipe with a cane to the side of the head. Now, if you're not enjoying my perspective on the matter, how about we go to someone more on the legal side of the matter and discuss what he has to say about Andrew.
Andrew Tate has been charged formally with human trafficking, rape, and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women. Okay? So, remember when I told you about sex trafficking, what they need to show? Force, fraud, or coercion, right? So, he and his brother Tristan and the 2 women all got charged with forming a criminal gang to that end. Sex trafficking, by its nature, involves force, fraud, or coercion. There is some evidence of force, apparently. There is evidence of coercion in the form of debt. And I'll get to that in a second. And then there's also the fraud, the lover boy, trying to get them to come, because you're going to get married and all these promises. And he gave these videos out, or he created these videos to say you need to control the women and make them think that they're the only one and blah, 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 make them loyal. That whole scheme, by his own words, are a form of fraud. And whether it's force, fraud, or coercion, or a combination of the three, that's going to be a problem for him.
Now look, you guys, I am very aware that there's quite a few of you dumbasses still out there pounding the table for the fact that he only used the Loverboy method. Well, the Loverboy method is a form of coercion. It is a way of trafficking. It's a form of manipulating someone into doing things that they otherwise wouldn't do. Now, for any of you who have deep and personal ties or feelings towards Andrew, I recommend that you take a moment before watching this next part here.
Words, you're gonna read it. Update on the two girls living together. So they became good friends, everything was stable. The girl who moved lost her support network at home. Cemented her move. Talking about staying forever, can't wait for me to come back, etc. Essentially, this girl moved from somewhere else to come live with Andrew. She lost her family network back home as a result, okay? So Andrew says, so I had to tighten the screw. So I said somebody in her old town told me she worked in a sex club. I literally made this up from the sky. Started calling her a liar and threatening to kick her out, but the real goal is for her to agree to never go anywhere without me, not even her hometown. I need her working, not visiting friends back in her hometown. So putting nails in that coffin, saying people are talking bad about her. So basically what he's doing in this conversation is he's working towards isolating her from her loved ones, her family and fans, so she can never go back and she has to rely on him for everything.
Yup.
Okay, so this is the conversation that he had with Jasmina privately through WhatsApp. You worked in a sex club. I did not work in a sex club. I'm not lying. Where did you get this out from? So you'd rather believe them. So she really believes other people are talking shit about her. I told you the truth. These people want me no good. I don't know who you have talked to, but I've only slept with 4 men in my life and you were one of them. I have never lied to you. You said it yourself that people will try to destroy us, break us apart. I've heard things too, but I choose to believe you and not them. Well, probably sure to believe those things. Andrew, answer me please, and tell me this is a joke, because I really don't want to believe that you mean what you're saying.
Silence.
I'm freaking crying alone in a room, and you think I'm not serious? I'm tired of this so-called friends acting like friends and ruining my chances to be happy, and it hurts that you believe that. Where am I now, Andrew? Here? Why? Because I'm serious. Andrew replies, serious girls don't lie. Yes, I understand, she says. You are not going back to Tismore even to visit without me. You understand?
In case you lost track, Tismore is where she is from. And basically Andrew said, you might as well consider that place Narnia, because we're going to burn that closet to the ground.
My people there are telling me you talked to tons of men and worked in a sex club. I'm not having you go back there for them to call me and tell me more shit. She replies, that's a lie, but as I said earlier, look at me. Andrew replies, you don't need to leave the house in Bucharest without either me or Georgina. We are together always. So this is how he socially isolated her. Let's go to part 2. Update on the two girls living together. If anyone doesn't know the story, ask the guys here to find out for you. So I told my girl to send me a picture. She said this. Alright, so then he puts a screenshot of what she wrote to him. She writes, at the same time, I have a few things, very few, but rules I can't break because I'm old-fashioned and I still believe in God. 1, I never sent a picture of me in lingerie ever. I made a promise to God and myself and I will keep it. 2, I will never do video chat or OnlyFans because my body's intimate and I only want my husband should be able to touch and see. 3, if I give you my love, I'm expecting same thing back. 4, the man I love should not hit or beat me up. This is it. If these 4 things are respected when it comes to me, then there's no way we can ever fight. I listen when I have to, I'm quiet when I'm supposed to, and I'm definitely dedicated on being a good wife, waking you up in the morning with fresh coffee and a meal, all yours and forever. This is the way I was raised. Had this on my heart the whole day, so I had to say it. You are the perfect man for me and the man I've been dreaming to meet and have a family with since I was a kid. Now it's your turn to decide if the things change the way you see me, or if I'm still the woman you want to spend your life with. I do. Do you?
Now see you guys, this is the Loverboy method used at the stage 4 level 100 Grandmaster level. But I don't want to go on explaining too much here. I'm going to go ahead and let Tate explain this a little further about what he was really trying to accomplish.
I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So yeah, on CorporateTape.com I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimp and hose degree that I'm
Clever.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me. And you're always working. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together? What if you're doing what? So I'll have a webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen, come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. But let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear it from the girl. And this is where your bottom bitch has to be trained. That's why I said it's so important to have a good first girl. Because that's what I did. That was my MO, was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me.
Now look, I am fully aware that he went and said a lot of different things on the PBD podcast and also the Tucker Carlson interview and the many other platforms he decided to reach out to recently in the last month or so to try to clear his name. But the receipts are out there. We have seen this stuff. It's out there. Just wanted to bring some more of this to your attention, just so you would know what's going on. But there's a little bit
make
more.
them work for me.
And then these were women who've never done adult work. They've never been interested in doing adult work, but he would find ways to isolate them from their friends and family, make them go broke, and then try to get them into the cam business so he can make a profit off them. So regardless of either whether you think that's legal or not, it's gotta be some evil shit. So in response to this message thread, he says, "This sounds like a hard target for cams or OnlyFans, right? So let's take bets. Will I get her to work? Anonymous poll." So basically he's asking the people in the group chat, do you think she's gonna get to work for me after seeing that message? And one of the guys replies, "Yeah, that isolation is critical. I have no experience in this realm, but I would try to be good cop, bad cop." This is from Mac J, one of the people who are part of the war room. "Act deeply hurt by her refusal. Flip it on her and get her to start feeling guilty or cry. Then have my BB, bottom bitch, ask why she's upset. Tell her how religious she used to be and how easy fun camming is. Again, never had to do anything like this, but maybe it works." And then Tate replies, "Close. I'm actually going to add a layer of separation. I will use Georgina as the bottom bitch and pretend I don't care. Either way, she can't attack me for tricking her. She looks super adamant about not doing this. She even made bullet points. I still bet yes because you're a top G, but it would be super impressive to see it in action." So basically these guys are just discussing how they're going to traffic these women and get them to do the cam work.
Well, as a course, right?
There's a course to it, but this group chat's just private. For the select few who want to be human traffickers, I guess, and have girls do cam for them. So Tate in this says, another element, since she's moved, she's been fed, but nothing else. She's broke, she can't go home, she can't leave the house. Man, I almost sound evil, but I'm not. I'm a shepherd leading the sheep. Tate goes on to say, so now I know she's broke, and I know what I believe the objections to be. My plan is to use Georgina as a bottom bitch to convince her I don't give a shit if she cams, but the only way she will have serious money is if she does. Isolate her from her friends and family, make her dependent on you, give her food, and tell her the only way she can make money is if she does the camming stuff, because she's not allowed to leave the house without you. So he asks her, let her panic a little bit. Remember, she asks for money now. That's scary for her. And I'd come back with, yes, we need to be together, but every girl in Romania asks me for money. I know you're not like them, are you? Make her qualify herself as not a gold digger. And she says, no, I'm not. Then come in with, we're going to be traveling together. I'm working from home, my phone. We're a team. You're going to listen to me and work from your phone too. Send her a pic of an Ibiza beach. Ibiza is an island if you're unaware. And because Cam has been soft floated before, I'd go for a hard close. If outright refuse, don't reply. Let her sit broke to think. So basically, if she don't reply to the offer or she's not down, then don't reply and make her worried because she's in love with you. One of the guys writes, Tateism in a sentence. It's all beautiful. A beautiful game of chess.
I don't know about you, but my group texts usually don't go off the reservation like this. And also, the level of manipulation techniques used here, next level. You gotta say, this is some sinister shit. This is some Joker level nonsense. I mean, this is some grade A manipulation. This is some takeover. This is some infiltration of the brain. This is like if one of those insects got inside of one of those ant brains and decided they were going to just lay a bunch of eggs and then sprout out their head. This is the kind of stuff that they're trying to do to these women. They're trying to completely confuse them, to destroy their minds, and have them believe everything that they tell them, which is kind of what's happened to a lot of them. And I mean, man, I tell you what, I mean, there's just, it's a lot of evidence, you guys. And don't forget, here's a small clip of what happened in the BBC interview that everybody said that he destroyed, Tate just killed it in the interview. I don't see how y'all come up with these interpretations. Like, can y'all please pull the pubes out of y'all's mouths so y'all can please actually speak something that makes sense?
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
that's exactly what you said on your website.
No, I've never.
Yes, he did say it. He said it, you guys. There are receipts literally right there in front of his face. It's littered right there. I don't know sometimes how much more evidence you can be hit with. Sadly, it just becomes a level of brainwash where I just don't think you can be brought back. It's sort of like y'all have the T virus and there's almost nothing that can bring you back. You got like one shot and that's it. Can maybe save one of you, but the other millions of you are just gone. You're screwed. I'm gonna have to kill you all, nuke you. I mean, it's the same. I'm really not advocating for violence or saying something crazy like that. But that's what I'm saying as far as getting rid of the cult of the Tate is just, it's gonna be hard. If you are still drinking that Kool-Aid, guys, please don't end up going to June Jones or Jim Jones's camp and ending your life. I mean, that's what this is. This isn't going to end well. Please jump off the bandwagon now. The train hasn't crashed yet. You still have time to jump in the grass or land in the bushes, come up with just a few scrapes, and redeem yourselves. You're not too far gone. There's a chance to come back. Now remember, you guys, manosphere, red pill talking points, they're supposed to be very conservative talking points coming from the hard right or just the right side of the political atmosphere. And quite frankly, there's nothing more right than the Daily Wire. And many of those guys are really starting to jump off the bandwagon. So if you're trying to look at conservative views and if you think that you're valuing those, maybe you should follow some of these guys who are starting to jump off the bandwagon. Some of them are smart enough to realize it's going to crash. The light at the other end of the tunnel is another train. That's not the afterlife.
Myself included have always been a little skeptical of the guy and pointed out that he's literally a pimp, and that's not great. That's not very conducive to virtue. So Andrew Tate sat down with Tucker Carlson to insist that he's not really a pimp. And my friend Liz Wheeler over there juxtaposed his interview with Tucker with other things that he has said openly on camera and makes it seem as though either Andrew Tate is suffering from a very serious bout of amnesia or he lied to Tucker. Look, man, I never seduced women and manipulated them into working for me. That's what they're accusing me of. But isn't that so crazy? And then, as Liz points out, he's said many times publicly that this is exactly what he did. The best defense, which he sometimes makes, though recently has been trying not to make, is that he didn't the girls, he just seduced them.
Now look, you guys, I know many of y'all are talking about bringing back the traditional family. I know y'all value traditional families and traditional homes where there's gender roles and the man takes over and the woman cleans and nurtures the children and the white picket fence and the 2 dogs and the gecko and the many other things that come with having that lifestyle of what seems to be true happiness or what everybody believes is what's going to make America right. And I believe to an extent many of those things are what's going to make this country, greater than what it already is. I'm not one that's in the boat that's saying that America sucks, because if you really look outside the country, shit gets terrible real quickly. So I'm not one to undervalue what's going on in this country. I love America. It allows me to have whatever I'm doing here on YouTube, which isn't a job as of yet, which maybe one day. But either way, like, share, and subscribe to this channel, by the way, if you've enjoyed this content today. I'm about to wrap up. But please, for any of you individuals who are still following this cult, I recommend that you isolate yourself. I know the news that we brought here to you today has not been the easiest to digest or process, or probably even easy to understand, and maybe some of y'all jumped off the bandwagon and unsubscribed from this channel. But if you have, it's okay, it's understandable. But this needed to be brought to your attention so we can heal it. Please have a nice day, and we will see you soon.